Alright, y'all, we're back here today and we're starting a new series. It's called Recharge. It's just a mini series, but today we're going to be talking about plugging in. And we're going to be in Hebrews 10, 24, and 25. And this is really what it looks like to find energy from community. So Hebrews 10, 24, and 25 says this. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. So I think that's just kind of awesome as our world becomes more and more divided right now. It's really important that we plug in and that we find community to grow in. We need a community so that we can build each other up, not tear each other down. And right now, more than ever, it's so easy to just separate ourselves and to not get involved because, well, let's face it, nothing's in person right now because everything's on lockdown. But now, and as we talked about previously with technology, now we need to use that technology to plug into community and to have more community than we ever have before. We need to use our resources to make great things happen. Community needs to be a place where we're filled with love, and it needs to be a place where we're filled with the Spirit. Community is a place for us to grow. And if we don't plug in, if we don't make the effort of reaching out, of finding people to help charge us back up, we're not having that opportunity to grow. Our focus should be on good deeds and not on ourselves. When we go into community, it shouldn't be about how we can brag about ourselves. It shouldn't be about how we can build ourselves up or how we can tear someone else down, but it should be about how we can build each other up, how we can build up those around us. And there's different ways to do that. But when we become part of a community, we should first humble ourselves. We need to plug into community or a group of other believers because we need that growth with our walk, in our faith and in our walk with Christ. We need that growth for ourselves. But the way that we plug in isn't to make it about ourselves, it's to make it about others, and it's to make it about Christ first. We also need to make it a priority to continue to meet with others. Like I said, everything's on lockdown right now, so it's really hard to just be intentional with these relationships and continue to go out and to even go to church right now is hard. But that shouldn't stop us. We need to continue to meet with others, find ways to make it happen. As schools are going back, they're finding ways to make it happen, whether it's online or what it might be. They're making it happen. People are still engaging with their friends. They're making it happen. Just the other day, I saw a group of college kids who had all bought their own little small individual sized pool and spaced it out just so that they could all be in the pool together, but so that they were in their own pool and socially distanced. We need to be creative and find ways to continue to meet with others. We need to be creative and find ways to continue to be engaged and be part of this community that Christ has built for us. Yeah, that can look like just, getting in a pool, buying a little pool and circling them up so that you can have conversation that way. It can look like using Zoom or Skype or FaceTime and having a meal together that way where everyone just has their own food. It can be meeting in person but spaced out and with masks. But the important thing is that we don't give up on community. Because right now, especially for those who are more introverted, it's easy to just say, I'm just going to keep my doors closed. I'm going to stay in my house. I don't have to worry about interacting with others. But right now, more than ever, we need to be checking on those who don't know Christ, checking up on those who don't want to make the effort for community. We need to be making sure that people are okay. This world is divided. And so even though we can't meet in person, we can still meet in other ways. We can still reach out and we can check on those who might be struggling right now. I know a huge tension right now is race. For those who may be on the less fortunate end of that, it's easy to just send a text and say, how can I help you? How can I support you? Let me know if you need anything. We need to build community of love through humility. And yeah, we may not be able to meet in person right now, but as we talked about a couple weeks ago, we still have technology. We have these amazing resources. And we gotta get creative. We gotta use them. We also need to continue to encourage and uplift our community. We need to build each other up and not put each other down. Because putting each other down won't help anyone and it won't solve any problems. It'll just make life harder. It'll just make life less enjoyable. But when we build each other up and we're constantly building and building each other up, joy is a lot easier to find. We need to bring that joy back into society, back into our communities. And we do that by building each other up, by uplifting each other, by being able to bring people into community. We need to put others first, not put others down. And community is a place to plug in so that we can recharge, so that we can be ready to go out and to reach the world again, so that we can go to the ends of the earth. That's the calling that Christ had for us, is to make disciples of all nations. And community, that's where we fill up. Having our faith-based community, that's how we fill up. That's how we go out. That's how we make disciples. It starts with community, and then it spreads. We're given this opportunity, and as we've talked about several weeks ago, we're given this opportunity to multiply, to make disciples, to make believers, to bring more into the family of God. So we use community not to pull away from the world, but to position ourselves in the world, to prepare us for the world. So here's the challenge this week. Ask yourself, how can you plug in? Who is your community, and how can you be involved? How can you reach out to them? How can you stay connected? It's the challenge for this week. Where can you plug in?